Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. 3.4 billion people use a Meta product every single day. That's nearly half of the planet. But yet the CMO says they're running out of people.
We'd like everyone to adopt these great glasses. We'd like all of the users of WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram to use Meta AI.
So the next play here isn't more users, it's deeper AI, smart glasses, and a bet that Meta can own how you communicate, what you watch, and maybe even what you wear. How does Meta think about safety standards, and particularly for parents and kids?
But I think it's a mistake to not have children ramp up with their parents in using social media.
I'm talking to the man whose job is to make us use Meta products more. This is What's Uptin with the Chief Marketing Officer of Meta, Alex Schultz. Alex Schultz, CMO of Meta, thanks so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So your main job is to get more people to use Meta products. Right now it's a little over 3 billion. What's the goal here? What's the KPI?
Well, I think the KPI is to get them to use all the products. At this stage, we'd like more people to use Meta, but we understand we're running out of people on the internet. And so we'd like everyone in America to use WhatsApp as well as use Facebook and Instagram. We'd like all of the users of WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram to use Meta AI. So really deepening their engagement with getting them to use more of our products, shop the shop, as a typical CMO would say.
Mm-hmm. I know that, so there's still billions of people who are not connected to the internet. Is that a priority to get them connected? I know in Philippines, you had a thing years ago where I think it was you would provide data to people, and they would also get free Facebook or something. So a lot of people started to associate internet with Facebook as synonymous.
So this was internet.org. This was our main successful thing within internet.org, which was zero rating of Facebook with operators. We still do that. So it's still an ongoing program. What I'd say is I think we have really good programs in that space, along with a number of other companies now who are doing the same thing. And there's various versions of it. You can use Facebook for a certain number of hours a day. You can use Facebook or Instagram for a certain amount of megabytes a day. So yeah, we absolutely still have those going. I do want to maximize the adoption of those products. We haven't given up on getting the rest of the people on Earth to use our products, but I'm also being realistic. There's a lot of people who use our products. So now it's about, please, could you use more of our products? Could you use them in better and more interesting ways?
You said earlier on the stage behind me that Americans aren't using WhatsApp. I remember I was in San Francisco a couple years ago, saw a lot of ads for WhatsApp. How's that going? Is there still a goal to get more Americans using WhatsApp?
Yeah, so we announced that we've broken 100 million people in America using WhatsApp. We've had another successful campaign this year, but we don't have a new updated number for me to give. But things are moving in the right direction. And our goal is to get America to use WhatsApp, not just iMessage. People use other apps all around the world as well as WhatsApp. So we're not claiming we're going to have everyone use just WhatsApp. But it's going well in America. It's grown tremendously in the last 5 years. There's a long way still to go.
What's one of the reasons that people would start is I imagine it's group chats, because group chats just look better on WhatsApp than iMessage.
Well, the number one,
especially when you have an Android user in there, right?
Yeah. The number one reason that people have adopted WhatsApp to date has been they have a friend internationally who uses it. That's been the number one reason. What we're seeing flip is actually we focus in our ads on two things. It's the most private messaging service. So we've won that. We are seen as the most private messaging service in the US and globally. And also you're not going to have blue bubble, green bubble. That's the core of our ads. And that's our way in. And that's our way of describing, hey, you should use this and not necessarily iMessage.
I want to talk about the glasses on your head. So I've been an early adopter, I would say. I did the 2021 version, then I got a pair in 2023. I just was in LA. I was trying to get the display, and I learned pretty quickly that you have to do a in-person demo to get the display glasses. Why is that? Why make it that cumbersome for someone? Is it just because it's new?
Yeah, it's really advanced technology. We want people to actually be able to use it well. And there is a learning curve. It's like when the first PCs rolled out, right? And so on and so forth. That's a point where you have to have education. So the wristband is amazing. It's a piece of magic. You got to use it a few times before you get used to it and don't get frustrated with it. And so what we're doing right now is we're taking people in, we're coaching them, we're getting them ramped up so they know how to use it. And then they can go off in the world and use them and enjoy them. So that's why we're doing it.
And how is the partnership going with Ray-Ban and kind of educating people on the glasses? It's been really interesting to watch, going to Sunglass Hut, seeing all the ads and stuff and people interacting with it. How's that been?
It's been really successful. I think both companies have said publicly how great the results have been. I think that something that really matters is that the glasses are something you want to wear. They look good on your face. And the classic Wayfarer shape, and these are the Houstons. You know, I love Oakleys. I think Oakleys look great on my face, and I'm a lover of the brand. And so having Oakleys means it really opened it up for me. Since I got these, I haven't had a single day not wearing them.
Wow.
Whereas
Those are the ones who become sunglasses, right, too?
These aren't transitions. I have sunglasses and non. Okay. That's what I prefer as transitions. Most people think are a lot better. It's not my favorite, but like the Ray-Bans I loved, but they were the wrong shape for my face. So I love the technology, but I didn't love the shape. So getting the Houstons opened it up. So yeah, having an amazing partner like Lux has been tremendous, and we wouldn't have the results we have without them.
They do look really good on you, though.
Thank you.
I saw them online and I loved them. Then when I tried them on, I was like, no, it doesn't work on my face. So
no, it matters what you put on your face, and people care.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was an interesting move by Meta because you had obviously Apple Vision Pro, you had the Xiaomi partnership on the headset, which I bought back in 2016. So, but sunglasses are inherent, right? People are already wearing sunglasses. And I think the moment that clicked for me was when I had my Ray-Bans and I had my AirPods. And then I was like, wait a minute, I don't really need my AirPods right now because I get my headphones through the glasses. And so if you're reaching customers where they're at, which is through their sunglasses, that's probably a much more like way to scale wearables than a headset.
It's a great way to scale wearables. It's a great way to get people to go into wearables with something they already love. So yeah, it is, you're exactly right. It's really effective. I can't add much to what you said.
Well, and then on a follow-up note though, so are headsets still a priority for Meta?
100%. And you'll see more about that in the future, but we've got sort of campaigns going out with Quest over Christmas. Quest actually had, a year that we're proud of, and that has been brilliant for us. And yeah, I'm feeling quite good about it. And there's only so much I can say about, because we're in the middle of the Q4 season, so we don't know what will happen in Q4. That's obviously the biggest season for it of the year. But no, Quest has been great this year. And we're feeling really proud of it. So no problems there.
Will we still see a day where we're using them in our work from home setup?
Yeah, I mean, and we're hoping in the long run, we want it to be more than just a gaming platform. So one big thing is entertainment. And then over time, getting to productivity. Productivity takes very high screen resolution for you to be able to look at the characters on the virtual screens. And so I think it will ramp probably from gaming to entertainment. So like watching sports, being courtside, all of those kind of things, having your stats up. For me, I always imagine watching soccer with my stats up around me, like when I'm watching the football. Getting all of that stuff to happen, and then next, productivity. So we still believe that's the future.
Let's talk about creator economy. You have, many, many millions of people who have become creators. Instagram, Facebook, they all kind of have different monetization policies. Even, I did 8 million views on Instagram in the past 30 days. Didn't get paid for it because I think maybe I'm at a different caliber or whatever. It's not a big deal because I've, diversified my revenue and stuff. But what about early stage creators? I mean, how do you get them to stay consistent and to stay loyal to a platform like Instagram, when the monetization is not always certain?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's funny. I started my career as a paper airplane website owner. Right. And I have YouTube videos with 10 million views all times. Now, this was years ago, right? So this was 2000s, like before 2010, but with me making paper airplanes. And the thing is, I grew my followership via my websites to the stage where I could then show ads to them and monetize them and get to that next level. And I think the first thing I'd say is, what are the platforms where you can be successful as a creator so that you can get an audience, you can get a following, and you can get to the stage where you can actually start doing deals and start getting monetization? And that is, I think, the single most important thing for creators to think about is, what's the right platform for me to get started if I believe I'll get to scale? On the way up, there are creator programs at different times to try and encourage people to try out new things, to try and ramp up creators who have opportunity. But fundamentally, the ones who break through, like yourself, like you have a thing and you have been successful and you've leveraged the platforms you have leveraged. And the real way you're monetizing is whether it's brand deals or in some cases affiliates and so on and so forth. And I'd use the platforms as just a boost to get yourself up there as you're sort of working through. The main thing is, how do I get a lot of traffic? And then you'll be able to monetize it later.
Facebook's been around since 2007?
2004.
2004. How do you think about Facebook 21 years later?
Yeah, I recently wrote a book, and in it I said the principles are timeless, but the channels evolve. And like, the way I think about Facebook is a lot of the principles are the same. Like, Facebook has always been about connecting to the people, places, and things you love. Whether it's connecting to your, like, you used to be able to say which course you were taking. You used to be able to join university groups, but you also used to be able to friend people. And so, like, when I think about Facebook today, it's that same thing. It's a mix of the people, places, and things you love. Mm-hmm. I would say that the friending stuff, the kind of family and friends, small group stuff has moved more to messaging. It's still there on Facebook. Like, you get together for that event for Thanksgiving. You know, you've got those old friends on Facebook. You do the birthday messages. It's still a core part, but it has diminished relatively. And the places and things part has grown. And so when I think about Facebook, it's that core of connecting to the people, places, and things you love. But and that's the core principle that's stayed constant the whole way through. But the flex has been which proportion or which.
It seems like in the US, a lot of people have, depending on your age, you're either more active on Instagram or maybe more active on Facebook. But then I go to other countries, you know, Indonesia, Philippines, a lot of the Middle East, and you see 18-year-olds on Facebook. How do you think about that? And why do you think Facebook is popular still with, you know, a lot of the younger demographics in certain countries?
It's great to talk about someone who looks around the world, because like, so many of the trends come out of the rest of the world and move to the US, as well as tech trends coming from the US. But you look at Happy Farm, that was Farmville in China. You look at Douyin, that was TikTok before TikTok was TikTok. You look at KakaoTalk and WeChat and Line and even WhatsApp. The US doesn't even really have with iMessage as advanced a messenger as any of those. And so as its main messenger. So lots of these trends come out of APAC and success over there. So honestly, I don't know how to answer this. I genuinely don't know why different countries have gone in different directions in terms of adoption of these different social networks. We don't have a good answer for that. And I've looked at it and studied it. And I can't come up with a really good answer. So I wish I could, and I feel I'm giving a bad answer.
Have you seen some of these reports that social media time is actually going down slightly the past couple of years? And does that concern you guys?
I've seen it in the reports. I've not seen it in my data, and I have a lot of social media in my data.
Interesting.
So I'm that one's confused me, actually.
Yeah, it surprised me too, to be honest. I want to talk though about, you know, addiction and screen time and things like that. How does Meta think about safety standards and stuff, particularly for parents and kids?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two things to think about on this one. Like, number one, I don't think, but I mean, look, civil society can make whatever decision it wants to make. It can put bans in place like Australia. Like, people can choose what they want to choose as long as it's, I think, fair and even. But I think it's a mistake to not have children ramp up with their parents in using social media. We don't allow people under the age of 13. We kick a lot of people off to keep that in place. From 13 to 16, I think you should be using social media with your parents. And what we've done as a response to that is, like, we had a lot of parental tools. We got feedback they were confusing, and they didn't cover as many things as people wanted them to cover. So we made them more consistent. We created teen accounts. We added more tools into that. And so what we've done is we've created a suite of tools that allow parents to manage the usage of their children on social media. And we think that's the right thing to do, is to make it so that parents and children can work together to use social media and ramp up, rather than be in this place of, you become 16, you get social media, you've had no conversations, no ramp up. So that's how we're approaching it. Tools to allow parents to use social media with their children, to manage how much time they spend, to put curfews in place, not send notifications overnight, you know, observe who they connect with, but have that responsible ramp up. So there isn't just an age of majority when you've done no ramp up and you suddenly get it, which I think would be bad too.
Let's talk about the app Vibes. Mm-hmm. So it's an app strictly for AI content. Why create an app just for AI content, and how is it doing?
So in my opinion, it's doing well. Like, I think it has good retention, which is always my definition of an app doing well. So I'm actually feeling really good about it. And I was skeptical, like, whether it would work. It's our second attempt at it, and like, it's not a guarantee. These were our second attempt, by the way. So Ray-Ban Stories didn't do great. Ray-Ban Metas did great. And it was a big step up in retention. So early data is really promising that there is a group of people who really want to do this. Why have a separate app? It's a playground to try new things. It's a small amount of our compute. It's a small amount of our inference. It's a small amount of our training, but we're trying stuff and seeing, will people be entertained and engaged? And people are being entertained and engaged. Will creators be inspired to create really cool new things? Creators are being inspired to get their ideas into reality that wouldn't have been reality otherwise. And so it's a good test. It's exciting. It's doing well. And I'm feeling really good about it.
I want to hear more about the book.
Okay. So I'm really proud of the book. I've spent 25 years doing online marketing, more really, as a hobby and then as a career. And I feel there isn't a good digital marketing textbook that's like, you want to ramp up on the basics and become solid at using online marketing. And so I wanted to create a book that was useful, slotted into that space. I am not making any money from it. I'm giving all the money to charity for my royalties. So like, it is literally, I want to give something back to the industry.
How do you ensure, because things are moving so quickly right now, how do you ensure that that book lasts more than 6 to 12 months?
So the core of the book is principles are timeless, even if channels change. So the example I'd use is direct mail. So, 70 years ago, you were sending letters in envelopes, and you had to make sure they were delivered to an address. And the database you used had to have information about that address as to whether you sent it or not. Glengarry Glen Ross, who's getting the good leads from that movie. Then you went to email in the 90s. Then you went to SMS, and there you've got a phone number. You still spend money to send it, but it's much, much shorter, and they need to click a link. Then you go to push notifications. It's a push token, still a key in a database with stuff associated it that people need to open and respond to. And now you're at AI chatbots over WhatsApp. It's the same thing. You have a phone number. People need to message it, and there's a back and forth. So I really think there's a principle here that's timeless that cuts across all these things. And that's what I try and do in the book is show those principles so that people will be able to get the most out of the new channels.
Is Meta going to be able to detect AI content and always kind of be ahead of the curve on Instagram and Facebook?
I mean, the answer is yes and no. It's a constant battle for people who use it nefariously. So there are a bunch of people who use it for good reasons, and they use the watermarks, and we can see it and we can detect it. And then there's a bunch of people who fight us. And it is a tool that is being used to fight companies doing their best on community integrity and safety. And so yes and no, it's going to be a cat and mouse game, just like everything else has been down the years.
Yeah. Final question. What excites you the most right now at Meta?
Oh, what am I excited most about right now? I'm really excited about what's going to happen with our AI teams next year. Like, things have bedded in. I think the new hires are doing really, really well. Every vibe I've got is things are headed in the right direction. I don't know for a fact because you can't know until you publish, but I'm feeling very hopeful about next year and AI being more like 2023 was for us, where we had a really great year. So I'm feeling hopeful.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of What's Uptin, where I bring you inside the minds driving tech, money, and power. Follow along on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow my personal account on Instagram at Uptin. Would love to connect with you.